Okay, so probably all you can hear is the computer turning on, but we've got my new office because we moved. So I'm trying to get to work. I have a deadline today actually, and I've done some of my writing in this, which is going to be my new writing notebook. I hadn't planned on, I don't know why it's making that noise, I just cleaned it. I was planning on finishing this, which I'm not done with yet, but I will be. I just couldn't find it, so I used the one I could find. So yeah, I have a short story deadline tonight that I gotta get to work on.
This riddle I did to my friends the other day, they hated me for it. I think this one looks more like that. It looks a bit blue. It's really loudly annoying. It's like, what's happening? Oh, there we go. 139. I use my classic wee mop. Don't hate me. That. What should we call this?
Oh my god! You have paint on your paw. Not sure which one, but definitely one of them. Oh yep, it's this one. It's all up in your toe bean.
Impulse buying for sure. Like if I want something, I have had
New Year instead. And yes, it is already starting a little upside down, but I still have high hopes. And again, if you have any art goals or goals in general, feel free to share them with us. And I think I try to meditate and I will try to get better habits. Digital book that I sell in my Etsy shop, I will make it. I've been talking about it for so long. It will also take me to one of my other goals, to actually finally finish at least one sketchbook this year. And it's a goal that I've had every year, but maybe this is the year Wilson was born. And now this Sunday, the day after this video is released, well, there will probably be a little introduction video in the nearest future. Let's take a look.
Welcome to another one of my crazy endeavors where I find something I desperately want to have and then trying my best to make it. It's pretty simple. I want myself a full body fantasy armor. This edge beveler to make some rounded, more interesting patterns on the left. Best thing ever. I'm now finished, since if it's less detailed.
Okay, so today I am removing everything from this room, my office, so I can paint it. So as you can see, kind of unpacked a little. It's absolutely full of junk. Not junk, my stuff, but it's not organized at all. There's a bed in here, litter box, printer, fabrics, all my store stuff's over there. Yeah, and I never really unpacked all the way because I knew this was going to happen. So we're going to move everything in here into the spare room. That is Cassie's room. And I'll see if she can say hello. This is our new baby Cassie. Say hi, Cassie Bear. Oh, yes. Yes. She's not a huge fan of cameras, but she doesn't seem to mind this. She really doesn't like phones for some reason, but our friends fostered her, and I'll tell you about her story later, but they fostered her until we could adopt her. So she's such a good girl. This is her prime sleep-in time. She sleeps from like noon to 4, 1 to 4, or something like that. She's such a good girl. Oh, stretch. But yeah, so I'm going to move all that stuff in here so I can clean and paint the room. There's also a litter box in here, so they're both going to have to go in here and all that jazz. But luckily Ravioli and Cassie get along great, so it's not going to be an issue. So I'm going to set up my camera and maybe get a little time lapse of that, but I don't know how much of it because it's going to be boring. Okay, so I'm going to be moving stuff from here to there, which I already explained, but I had to get a new tripod, which you're on right now, because my old one got broke in the move. Something just snapped one of the knobs. It's real cheap plastic. So I'm going to be going back and forth, and I'll put this on a like a time lapse, so you can just watch me move stuff. You know. I know I'm doing things, aren't I? Doing things is scary. Say hi. You ready for treats? Yeah, you ready for treats? There's for Ravioli. Here, keep for the Cassie girl. Here you go. So I had an idea for, I'm sorry if it's echoey, I'm in my freshly painted office with nothing in it. I gotta move everything back in. Anyways, I came up with an idea, I'm sorry if that made you sick, for, like a card you could send people, and it says, congrats on your name, or congrats on your pronouns, and it's a bowl of, like, what do you call that? Alphabet soup. So I'm drawing out my alphabet over here because you could get it customized with the pronouns, or your name. So I'm gonna have to create a sort of font, but that'll be fun. And this, obviously they're not gonna look like this. This was just really a quick little thing. So I already started this once. Yeah, ravioli? I know. Like I said, I started this once. Oh. Excuse me. Oh, darn. I think that's the appropriate word. Uh-huh. Boy. That's close enough to a perfect circle. I'll do it with my pen then. I don't know which pen I want to use. I thought I was going to use this one, but now I'm not sure. I did this once already, kind of, here, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I'm redoing it. And I'm not sure exactly. I guess I'll use this. I can try it at least. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to test and see if it's waterproof. It is not. That one is not either. Good thing I tested. That would be even worse than the pen I'm using that is alright. I just don't like the way it looks. Let that sit for a minute. So these two are no-no. I should have known that because, like, if your hands get slightly moist, they really don't do well. All right, well, I guess the pen I was using is the best choice after all. So we'll go back to this. So this is an idea I had for a card, and it's the same idea you would have seen me working on earlier. And it kind of has evolved in my head. It's a card about coming out to someone, or changing your name or your pronouns. That's why I have two here. There are going to be two different options. And it's going to say, your name is super, or your pronouns are super. And I originally, the first iteration was congrats on your pronouns and congrats on your name. And then I was thinking, I love your pronouns, or I love your name. And the whole time it was this alphabet soup idea. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to use the super pun sooner, but I didn't really like the way the first one was turning out. It could have been, I felt, a lot nicer. So, yeah. I don't know why I'm doing this part and inking it now when I still have, like, most of the sketch to do, but whatever. Thankfully, it's not going to matter. I might go over this edge with a thicker pen once we're done, just because I would like the thicker look, at least for this. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. There's about to be a big snowstorm, so we had to go out and get some food. Not so much the standard, like, eggs, bread, milk. I don't know if that's common where you live, but it's the, like, stereotype, at least in this part of the United States, in the eastern part, when there's going to be a snowstorm, people go out and they buy eggs, bread, and milk. But we did actually get bread, but that was because we didn't have any for sandwiches. We're supposed to go grocery shopping tomorrow, and we definitely won't be able to. So we had to get just enough food to last us a couple more days until we could go grocery shopping, like, properly, because we weren't going to do that at 8 o'clock at night. What is that? Is that a cut in the deal? No, it's a cat hair. There's a cat hair stuck in the paint on this table. There we go. I got it. So this one's going to say your pronouns are super. So I've got to figure out... I got to figure out, for starters, exactly how wide I want this, like, the rim of the bowl to be. Probably about here. Maybe a little narrower, but I'll check back in with you later. This is where I am now, and I just realized I spelled pronoun wrong. You have prouns. Your prouns are super. I should be able to fix that in Photoshop, though. I can move the letters around, hopefully. This one's at least pretty good. But yeah. Oh! Tripped on a cord. So that was great for my phone tablet. Move this here. See, I need my phone. Set this up. I think I'm gonna use the top shelf. Yeah, I like that. Gives me. Does that light need to be on? I guess not. It's a little dark in here, but I can see all that stuff. Well, let's see here. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that again. Promise I can't reach the top of the screen. There we go. Yeah, alright. God, this is gonna be a long video. Hopefully that'll be good. I don't know how I keep ending up with all the blankets up here. You gotta go find. You don't go in there. You gotta find the printer. It's in here somewhere. Ravioli, Cassie. Do you know where the printer is? I don't. Do you ever feel like sometimes your brain is the only one that works a certain way? Nobody else's works that way. And everything's so much easier if everybody else's brain did work that way. I'm sure you feel that, Ravioli. Because you were the scar gif of I am surrounded by idiots 24/7, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Got it. Alright, I think this is where I'm going to put the printer for now, along with paper and whatnot. So it can fit in there. That can lift up. There's a thing in here. Come on. Rooterus. This cord can, well, it's going to need an extension cord, but it can go down around like that, I guess. Alright, I'll go get the extension cord. Alright, I turned it on, plugged it in. This paper doesn't belong in here. This goes here. Yep, there's your paper. Alright, I don't need to print something, but I do need to scan something. Are you helping? Yeah, Merper. I'm gonna have to go downstairs and get him treats, aren't I? Because he thinks I'm printing. He doesn't know the difference. Do you, baby? No, he doesn't. Okay, I hope that's in focus. I have like 15 minutes until a meeting. I need to scan something for that meeting. Nothing exciting, it's a school thing. So I'm gonna set this to scan, and then instead of doing anything productive, I just kind of wanna complain to you guys. And I wanna preference this before I speak by saying this is not me saying I think digital art is easy, that I think digital art is, you know, less work than traditional art. That is not true at all. I believe it is equally challenging, and for me even more challenging because I haven't done much at all. But it feels to me like there's so many extra steps involved with creating for traditional art. I can turn this so you guys can't see it. I don't think you can, but personal stuff, you know. Where am I going? I am going to this class. It's just like you have to scan it into Photoshop or your Photoshop equivalent, like Photo Affinity for me, and then you need to touch it up, which depending on the piece and how it's made and even the texture of the paper, like I use cold pressed watercolor paper and I have to go in and erase like most of the shadows from the ridges in the paper. You know, you got to make it all nice and neat, and then you can put it on whatever it is you want to make. And it's just, it feels like there are so many extra steps. And I've created this card design, which you may or may not have seen, and I want to get it ready so I can make a mock-up to share this week as one of my social media posts, and I'm just really excited about it, period. But I can't just copy it from the Photoshop where I drew it into, you know, onto the file that I'm printing and that'd be it. I have to touch it up, I have to do this, I have to do that, and it's just like, oh god. I'm just a little bit salty, I guess. So I have 12 minutes before my meeting starts, so I'm gonna, I don't know, do something less frustrating and then be in a good mood for when my meeting starts. Hopefully I don't want to be rude to my group mates. It's a group assignment that we're working on, so yeah.
So I really love to have that, like, playtime, so to speak. Playtime sounds dirty and weird, but I hope you know what I mean. Like, unproductive, quote, unproductive time for my art. And also, as soon as I crack the system with Notion, I'm gonna share with you, like, do a Notion tour in case you wanted to. I'm not an expert on Notion in any way. I've seen people do wonders with Notion. I am not that person, but so far it's been working out for me, so I'm very happy. Anyway, right now, you guys, it's Tuesday. I'm supposed to be editing yet or filming video, so that's what I'm doing right now. And also this afternoon I want to make progress with the Instagram comic. So let me see if I can show you really quickly. Where is it? So this is a sketch of what
I'm gonna use this ruler I have here. I should be using a tape measure, but I don't know where mine is, and I can't really be bothered to go downstairs. Although I do have a sewing tape measure in here. Sewing tape measure. So I'm just kind of what am I doing? I'm adding in some contact paper. So this is 10 inches by 44. Okay. And this is 15.5 inches. 15.7, I think. I forget. And I really hated to buy this stuff on Amazon. I try not to buy things on Amazon, but it was... I didn't want to go out to buy it if I could avoid it. Also, I didn't really like any of the options at Target, and I was going to make a special trip to another store just for that tape, or for the paper. Does this have kind of, not really, somewhat? Alright. So there's, are these centimeters? These are centimeters. Of course it's in centimeters. Alright, I'm gonna use something heavy. How about an empty coffee cup? It's not, I never used it. I think I was using this for, oh no, it wasn't a prop. It was, I wanted to do something that is eluding my brain right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to use it as like, something to trace. Because I couldn't find my compass. Alright, so this should be pretty close to 44 inches right here. So if I can figure that out, I can cut it and then trim it widthwise. I can't believe it measured it online as, it like told the measurement in inches, so I assumed it would have markings in inches, but apparently not. Alright, well there's 22, so we're halfway there. 37, this is going to be a pain in the butt, isn't it? Well, the good news is I think all three of these are the same measurements, so 40... Not me. And this thing is not quite long enough to be convenient. I should probably be like doing this on the floor or something. That was what I found to be the most useful when I was doing this downstairs. Pen, pencil, something like that. Don't move. Alright, luckily this winds up pretty much on a line, so I can just cut straight across. Yeah, this is, did I say it was a light wood grain? It's supposed to be really unnoticeable. I also don't like all the plastic, but like the paint is just gonna stick to anything I put on here, so I kind of have to do this, or I have to put something on here. So this is my solution for now. If you guys have any better, more eco-friendly solutions, let me know. But I think I'm just gonna turn this into a time lapse if that's alright. Part of me's like, see if you can find some like cork mats that can set on here, because I ordered a cork mat for my desk, and if I could buy like a roll of cork. He thinks this is a game. I'm gonna have to kick you out. I'm sorry, but all right. Here's what I was thinking about doing. I know I'm not gonna see it. There's gonna be fabric all over this, but like, there's that. Was getting like mats, like bamboo mats, because I bought one for my desk, and if I could get a big roll of cork, I could make that into, you know, that could look nice. Okay, so I'm filming my computer screen, which isn't the best, but oh well. It's also kind of crooked because I'm still learning how to use this new tripod, but these are, whoops, my 2 card ideas, and I'm trying to decide if I want anything on the inside or not, because so far all I have is something on the back of the card. I'm just trying to decide if I want to put something on the inside, like a little message, like something like, I love you no matter who you are. I don't know, maybe I should just leave it blank. I mean, I guess I could offer a personalized message on the inside if somebody wants something. I suppose I could do that. So, yeah. Unless I think of something better, I think that's what I'll do for now. So I'm going to try printing them out. I'm excited. We'll see. I did test the colors. I'm going to grab the paper. I think I mentioned that yesterday when I was filming. But, yeah, there doesn't seem to be any issue with the yellow. Of course, you can't tell in this lighting. This lighting is so yellow, but I'm going to get more natural light bulbs for this room. I don't know what type of light bulbs we would need though. So yeah, I'm just hard at work. Okay, so I have some boxes to open. So this first one I've got is nothing to do with art, my art business or anything, but I still thought I'd show you what it was. Because it is kind of a crafty, creative thing I'm doing, and you guys might be interested. I need to find my office scissors. That's what I need. Man, they tape this with a lot of tape. So, being a person who enjoys art, I have bought a lot of art prints. And now that I have space to hang them up, because before I could never like put holes in the wall or anything, I decided this a while ago, I've been working on this for a while, that I was going to buy a bunch of different picture frames and paint them black so I didn't have to worry about them all being the same. So I bought a lot of picture frames off of eBay, and they didn't have their sizes listed, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. It was, like $15, $10 for like 7 or 8 of them. So that's what this is. I'm going to open. And I'm hoping at least some of these fit the art prints that I have left. Because I was having a hard time finding them in the places I'd been usually buying them. So that's the first one. That's these picture frames, which I'll share later, the rest of them. I'll let you know if they fit. And the other thing I have is for my office. It is organizational bins. They are made out of bamboo, I think. Eco-friendly bamboo. And they are apparently come with a lot of this stuff, which is, I think, also recyclable. Yeah, it is. And some bubble wrap, which is very, very good highlight. And more bubble wrap. So they are 6 by 9 inch bamboo little like trays. And I'm planning on putting them on the shelves over here. These shelves are 10 inches wide by like 63 or something inches long. So I bought 10 of them, and they should fit well, and they will hold all my arts and crafts supplies. So yeah, there's that. I'll show you what it looks like once I get them put out. Ravioli wants to play with the plastic. He's a baby. Alright, so it's still kind of a mess, but I've got pretty much all this figured out. So these are the 10 containers. So I'll show you real quick what's in each one. This is art supplies mostly for when I do dolls, but it can be used for other things as well. There's rubbing alcohol, nail polish remover with and without acetone, sorry, baby powder, UV resin, a water spray bottle, and silicone resin molding stuff that's not actually for this. Then we have here Rit Dymore, my varnishes, again mostly for doll making and doll customizing. We have acrylic paints, which I use for crafting stuff. This is paint, a sample from when I painted some furniture that I have an idea in mind for a project for. This is all my glue. So we've got regular school glue, some glue for doll hair, flexible adhesive, nylon glue, or like plastic glue. And then we have glue gun. These are a little bit it's not the best spot for them, but it works. We have cross stitch holder thingies, hoops, cross stitch hoops, I guess, and we got cross stitch fabric plus felt because it felt weird to waste 2 on that. And then we have all of my embroidery thread plus the bag that still needs to be sorted. All of my clay, it's mostly polymer clay, like there's some Sculpey Bacon Bond, a tiny bit of white Sculpey, some yellow off-brand Sculpey that I got for super cheap that I'm going to paint, and this is air dry clay here. This is just kind of random stuff, mostly doll supplies, but anything else that didn't fit in these other ones goes in there. And then we have doll hair stuff here. Some yarn that I use for doll hair, different, yeah, some hair back there. And then these are all the dolls that I kind of have out that was from making a doll shoe. That I'm either considering on making something with, or I'm kind of already doing. Like, you can see there's some without heads, without faces. I don't really do a whole lot of doll customizing anymore. I used to do a ton. I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to the customizations I've done, but I kind of fell out of it last January. Like January 2020, and then just never really got back into it, but I still might. So I've kept all this stuff, and then this is where all my doll stands are gonna go, but right now there's only 2 because I haven't unpacked the rest. And then down here I just have a couple things full of stuff that I didn't really know where to put otherwise. Then up here we have chaos to everybody except me. These are my old sketchbooks in order from oldest to newest that are all finished. These are my sketchbooks that I'm still using. Any type of notebook or sketchbook. There's even some photo albums in here. And then this is stuff that I haven't started using yet. Yeah. And then I'm thinking the third shelf is going to just be for displaying items. Like dolls that I've customized, for example. Legos, stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm not going to show you everything else because it's a mess and I want to do a whole video on that. Just like showing everything once it's done. But yeah, I think these shelves, these little things are really nice and they really contain everything nicely. That is slightly too wide, I think. I think that's why it's like that. There we go. They're nice. Yeah, I like them. I'm going to get some more, I think, maybe for the other parts of the room, but for now that's good. And I wanted to show these. These are my cards. I printed them out. I just need to get some envelopes, but they're 5x7, and I really like how they turned out. And I really like how the Photoshop that I did for this to fix the word pronoun, because I was missing the O in the end, I think. It was just pronouns. I feel like it turned out really nice. And there's this one as well. So yeah, that's that. That's what I've been working on today. Okay, so I'm getting ready to take some Etsy pictures, and I actually got some noodles, like the type that you would see in alphabet soup. Oh, ravioli, what you doing? So, if my hand will focus. Autofocus can be great, but a lot of times it's not. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out letters to make pronouns with, to put around it. So I'll show you what I got in the end. Alright, after picking through this pile here, that's not even all of them, the rest of them are up there. I have come up with some sets of pronouns that I'm going to put around this card. I got myself a pair of tweezers. I didn't use them earlier, but I think they might be easier now. So I'm going to set you up. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Ooh, good. Go. If you can't, oh well. Alright, I'll show you when I'm done, just in case. And I'm not going to set every single set of pronouns right next to each other. I'm just going to move them around. So like they won't be next to them. It'll be next to like him or something. In this case, hers. Get off. There's wax on this. I was using it to fish a candle wick out of a melted candle. Or actually a match, not a wick. So they're kind of sticky, even though I did my best to clean them off. These tweezers. Come on. Might actually be easier to do this with my fingers, but I was getting tired of like trying to pinch the noodles and pick them up. I did end up starting to sort them to find letters because it was hard, but I don't know if I would recommend that. That was a lot of effort. I'm going to try not put any of these next to cracks in the paper because the paper's a little wrinkled, but if I can avoid putting them right next to it, I can actually just Photoshop the wrinkles and stuff out. So there's that. Oh, sorry, if I break one of these I'm gonna cry. As long as it's not an eye, we should be good. The eyes were so hard to find. I don't know if it's because there goes an S on onto the floor. And it didn't help that Ravioli was sticking his tail in these. So obviously I'm not going to eat the rest of these here, but the rest of them that I haven't been fingering and, okay, that sounds dirty, but the rest of them I haven't been messing with and had on the floor, all that good stuff. I will actually probably save and eat because why not? They're noodles. I love soup. Alright, there. Wait, no, I don't need... Oh, it goes with his. Okay. I was gonna say he's. That's... I mean, if there's an apostrophe in there, that's correct. But that's not... That's a possessive pronoun. Alright, so... Yeah. Well, what else to say? There are neopronouns. I just haven't picked any of them up yet. And they don't have to be perfectly in line because those aren't, but alright. Z. I have a couple different variations of like Z. I have Z with a Z and Z with an X. All that good stuff. Now I'm questioning what direction a Z is written in. Is that right? It doesn't look like it right. There we go. It doesn't look right either. Did I do that? I guess that's right. We're gonna just go with that. And Z is actually going to be here twice because you can have Z, zir, zim, or Z, here, hears. Yeah. I tried using Z in here for a while, but I didn't like it. I don't know. So if we want to talk about my pronoun, like, journey, obviously, or maybe not obviously, I don't know. I am AFAB. I was assigned female at birth. That, you know, is the gender I grew up identifying as. And sometime around 2016, probably 2017, early 2017, excuse you, or maybe even early 2018. I forget, it was sometime after my girlfriend came out. I started realizing that I didn't really identify as a good girl. I think the way I put it was, it's like if being a girl is a frequency on a radio, that frequency is, this is backwards, is, you know, like 102.5 or something FM. I was set to like 103 FM. So like I was close enough to pick up the frequency, but not that frequency specifically, was how I kind of put it. And I didn't really think anything of it for a while. You know, that's just how it was. And I was like, oh, I don't need to, you know, examine that. It's, you know, it's close enough. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, no, this isn't right. So I'm going to be very sad if this is not in focus. I can put this text over me showing what the cards look like at the very least. So after a while, I was like, you know what? I think I'm a demigirl. That was the first thing. And demigirl, if you don't know, means I am a girl, but I'm also not. And that's not what I identify as now, obviously. We'll continue. So I identified as a demigirl. I forget. I think I also identified as non-binary at that point. Definitely demigirl. And so the first set of pronouns I used was, I guess, she, her, and z, zim. But like I wasn't out to anybody other than a few of my girlfriend's friends. It wasn't anything I was really pushing for in my life. I was still kind of experimenting with it, I guess. So my friend Vanessa was pretty much, her and my girlfriend were the only ones that used z-zim for me. So I don't even know, I don't know if I would say my pronouns were z, zir, and this was with the x, xe, xir, xim, or xem. There's so many different ways to spell neopronouns. It's the same, not the same thing, but like the spelling, the pronunciation is pretty much the same, at least in English. And then after a while, I was switched to Z here, and this was only, that was with the Z, was because it was a more common neopronoun. set. Like it was, you know, if you're going to get pronoun pins from somewhere for free, they often wouldn't have XE, XEM, XIR, that set. So they had Z here because I think that one's been around longer, if I'm remembering correctly. So I decided, you know what, I'll go with that. It's closer, it's, you know. And I went by that and they, them for a while, and I still wasn't really out to a lot of people. But like if I went to an event, I'd put those pronouns on my card or like my name tag. And, you know, everything was good for a little while. And then I decided I had decided I didn't like, this is about at the same time I decided I didn't like demigirl. I decided I wasn't a girl, so I was non-binary. And that is still how I identify today, as non-binary. I don't know if I would say gender fluid, definitely gender queer. Because my gender, the way I look at it is, my gender definitely does change over time, regularly, or at least somewhat regularly, but it never changes to anything other than non-binary. It's just a different expression of non-binary, I guess. So I don't really go by gender fluid, but dang it, I broke the E. So, let me find an E. Oh, there's one. Perfect. Get over here. And about the time I decided that I wanted to use EM pronouns was about the same time I started going by Noah, or at least experimenting with it. Again, didn't come out to people very quickly with that. I'm still not out to everyone in my life about that, but most of my friends know and they are super supportive, and for that I'm very lucky. What else? That's about it. So now my pronouns are EM, ears, or they, them, and I always say whatever you feel more comfortable saying because I accept both of them. I'm out in school, I'm obviously out online, that sort of thing. And my name is Noah. So, yeah, that's my pronoun story, and that's just proof that, you can change your pronouns and that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to take a picture now. I hope this has been in focused and recording this whole time. If not, oh well. We'll use the audio with something else. Okay, so welcome to my new filming setup. I've been filming over there where my computer is, and I have some cork mat down. It's kind of like a cork board, but instead of being something you hang on the wall, you lay it down in front of your desk. And it's kind of like a nice little bit of a cushion. It also keeps things from sticking to this desk because this paint here is kind of sticky, which I don't know why it's like that, but every time I paint something, it's always been like that. Every time my mother has painted something, because like she'd redecorate my furniture as a kid when I decided that I wanted my room to be suddenly all pink or all purple. She would repaint things, and for some reason it's always sticky. I don't know why, but anyways. So it keeps things from sticking to it. It keeps the area clean, but I have here a piece of poster board, which I'm going to be using, and then once it gets all scuzzy, I'll recycle it and get a new one. But we have these Otto graphic liners, needlepoint drawing pens. Here, I'll do a little. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So it's a 6-pack. I got it from Jet Pens, and I believe they were, with shipping, it was $20, so they were probably around $13 themselves. The shipping was super quick. I could not find these on Dick Blick or Artists and Craftsmen or anything like that. These seem to be more for people who do like architecture and stuff, but the reason I wanted these new liners was because I am sick and tired of taking pens like this or this and using them and being too heavy-handed and pushing the nib in. So then I bought this one here, which is a Pentel Hybrid Technica, but it's not waterproof, I've noticed. If you're careful around it, it's fine, but it's not waterproof. And I have a few other pens in here, these thicker ones as well. They're all Pentel as well, I think. They all say Pentel on them. Yeah, this one's Pentel. They're Pentel Sign and Pentel Sign like brush, and then this is Pentel something. Stilo. I use these a lot for these cysts aren't cyst comic, but they also are not waterproof. Even if you have like a sweaty hand while you're drawing, they'll smudge everywhere, which is a pain in the butt. especially now since I've started doing watercolor for my comics. You know, I can't have that. So I'm going to be testing these out along with all of my other ones. I will, I think, be testing them out in the order that I use them. So we'll be starting with the Pigma fine liners, and then the Copic fine liners, and we'll just go from there. So I'm going to draw out all the lines, and yeah. So let's see here. Also, I apologize if you can see something through this. It's because this is a leftover misprint from when I was creating my greeting cards. Also, the dryness, that's not something that we're gonna take into consideration because a lot of these pens are kind of old. I just wanted to compare thickness and waterproofness. About as straight as I am. So first thoughts while using these is, holy cow, they're smooth. They have, I'm trying my best to show you, but they have a ballpoint, which is nice. Which is what I'm looking for, because I don't want to shove the nib up in the pen. Alrighty, so I don't know how long it's been, but it's definitely been long enough to give all of this stuff a chance to dry. We're just kind of gonna scrub our way over it. Like, not super hard, but hard enough that, you know, if you were painting without thinking, you'd find out whether it was waterproof or not, you know. So far, so good with the new pens. But you can see, like, this one depends. The longer you let it sit, the better it is. But like, oftentimes I don't let my stuff sit before I paint because I'm impatient and I'm excited and I want to get to the next step, you know. We're going to do some watercolor over it as well. And it'll tell us how the pen looks with watercolor over too, although that can relate as much to the watercolor as it can to anything else, to the fact that there's water, because the quality of the watercolor can, you know, affect that. This paper is really not made for water, so you can see it buckling. That probably doesn't help either, but I didn't want to waste a piece of watercolor paper on this, especially since I know what a lot of them are going to do. I just wanted to show you guys. So I'm also going to grab a marker. Let's see here. What do I want? I guess I'll do an Ohuhu and a Copic. Not something that's light, but not something that's going to be like not visible. So this is the Ohuhu. And I know Ohuhus don't look like this anymore, but these are from like 2018. So they were made slightly differently in ye olden times. I'm going to use the bullet nib to kind of like scrub over these. Like this. Very, very pretty. Not winning any awards here. But pretty much all of these are good with alcohol from what I've seen. I mean, obviously the Copics are, or the Copic fine liners are going to work well with alcohol. So now we're going to use this Copic marker, which I don't expect anything different, but oh, I'm getting a phone call. Man, I'm glad I picked up. It was a really important call about my car's warranty from the dealer service center. That's that. It pretty much looks the way I expected it to look. The Pigma microns and the Copics worked fine. The Pentel Stilo, which is this one, did bad with the water. Not too bad with the paint, but I think I scrubbed with this one more. The Pentel sign, I don't remember. You'll know because you'll have just seen, but this Pentel sign did better than this Pentel sign. I think that's this one because this one has a finer nib. Yeah, than that one. So this one did slightly better than that one, but I don't know if that's just my lack of science or what, but we had the Pentel Hybrid Technica, which did better than I expected it to, but I think part of that is because I put down a really light line, like, you know, it's not very dark. There we go. And it let it dry, which helps. The Pitt Artist Pen from Faber-Castell did fine. I don't know if they're supposed to be waterproof or not, but it did fine. And then the Oto all did brilliant, except for this one here, slightly feathering, the Oto 2, but I think that's more maybe my imagination or just the sheer pool of water that's there. Oh, and you can see I got paint on this thing, but that's okay, that's what it's for. And they all did fine with Copics and alcohol markers in general. I don't really have anything else that I want to try them on. I could do it with gouache. I mean, if you guys want to see how these new pens work with gouache or anything, let me know. I'll keep these papers. I think it'd be interesting to let this stuff sit for like 2 weeks and then try it and see, you know, is there any amount of time that you can let it sit long enough that it will work and be waterproof. But I don't think they advertise them as being waterproof. I don't think they advertise it one way or the other, but yeah, if you're a watercolor artist, that's pretty important. So I'm gonna go. I came up with some card ideas when I was waiting for this to dry before I put the paint on. And I want to sketch them out before I forget them. I also need to clean up the pen mess. Okay, so I have my notebook, my Diplomat Magnum pen, piece of paper, like paper towel if the ink gets messy, my planner, my mostly cold cup of coffee, and a band-aid on my finger because my cat came into the bathroom because I didn't latch the door, used me as a step stool while I was going to the bathroom to get up onto the shelf and cut my hand with his paw. So it's gonna be fun trying to write with the band-aid on my pointer finger on my right hand. Anyway, so I'm working on a short story because today I went through, and I try and go through about once a month and find new anthology submissions, and I write them in my planner like this. You can see I have like a name, the genre, the length, where they are to be sent in, because I have discovered if I don't write that down, I will forget where they are. I even made a reel about it, and I'll insert it here if I can. I needed something to fill this space because the music I used for the reel was copyrighted. So I guess just imagine me saying, oh no, 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 over and over again. Then we have the deadline, the pay, so like .062 per word, $30 per piece, .06 per word, .08 per word, 50 cents per word, $8 per word, which I'm assuming is a mistake. We have .01 per word. So 1 cent. And we have the date that I should hear by. The ones that are checked off are the ones I've done already, and that one's crossed off. So I did not accept it. I should know about hexes by now, but I have to look and see. So when I start, especially with short stories, because they often just give you a prompt, and if I don't have something already written that works for it, I will just sit down and start free writing. So the one I'm working on now is an anthology called It Gets Even Better, which is about hopeful queer stories. And it needs to be speculative fiction, I believe. Let me look. Yeah, speculative and positive. It can be fantasy, it can be, you know, more or less contemporary, but in the future. So I have to think of something. So I just start writing like that. And I just kind of talk to myself via writing, and eventually something comes out that I want to work with. This one is due in 2 days. A lot of the ones I found this time are due like within this week, so I really need to either use something that I already have, which is nice about having a collection of short stories that you can submit, or get to writing. So I'm going to do that, and I'll talk to y'all later. So I'm going to get started painting this. I inked it last night, and it was a pain. Really killed my hand for a little bit, but this is another house. This one's full of plants. There's another one that I want to do that's a house with a garden in front, right in front of their sidewalk, and I was looking at that one and I really want to do it, but I'm going to lay off the plants for a bit. But I think what I'll start with is figuring out, actually, what I need to do first is get some water in this pipette. I bought a bunch of these for like, oh god, how much? Not much. Is there still water in this? Oh, that's trippy. There's water left in this from the last time I made something. I didn't realize it sealed that well. Huh, interesting. Anyways, I get my paints wet and start thinking about what I want to do color-wise. So while I do this, while I get set up, I think I need to put more black paint in that. Alright. I'm going to wrap up this vlog for the month. Yeah, it went really well getting back in the swing of things. Is this the right one? I have a couple different bags in here that have, yeah, this is the watercolor. And I had a good time. It started out kind of rough with the first of the month. What's that? Comic day, hourly comic day. Although I think the editing I did for that was really nice. I think it didn't look that great. I was still learning how to set up the whatchamacallit, set up the camera in this space. So, you know, I don't think I'm gonna need any black for this, but I want it in there, so if I do need it, I have it. I very rarely use it. I would say the thing I use it for the most is I like to mix it with yellow to make sidewalk colors. I feel like that it makes a really good like sidewalk. So I'm gonna, I guess, mix the brick color I want. I know you're on my right, so my arm's gonna be in the way a lot, but this is more so you can just listen to me talk. You don't have to, you know, really see what I'm doing. But so yeah, I think this month went well. I don't want to say I had a breakdown because that's really dramatic, but you know, I had a moment a couple days ago, more or less, and I was just like, you know, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I feel like I'm going in circles. I feel like I'm never going to be successful. And I have that every once in a while, and there's usually something that's not working in my life or my creative practice at that time that I need to switch around, you know? And one thing that really helped, and this is something I do all the time, is I created a schedule. I am in school. I'm a graduate student. I think I've talked about that before a little bit. So, you know, there's that aspect of stress in my life. That's a good bricky color. So I make a schedule to try and kind of show, like, this is when I'll be doing homework, this is when I'm in class, that sort of thing. So that helped, but I did some tarot about it. That's a really kind of flippant way to put it, but I find that it really helps when I'm feeling stuck like this to do tarot. I like, you know, obviously I'm interested in tarot, you've seen my videos. This is brown. I don't know what color that is. But yeah, I just, you know, did a tarot spread, did some reflection, which is, if you don't know, that's what, you know, most of tarot is. It's self-reflection. It's not always, you know, ooh, I'm looking into the future. You know, it's mostly, for me, it's 100% reflection, internal reflection. It's not, you know, what else? So I did that, and the message I got out of the cards, or how I interpreted the cards, however you want to put it, it just, ooh, I like that color. Might need a slight titch more red. I'm gonna use the orange or the yellowy red. Like it's a reddish orange, I guess is the best way to put it. I was gonna say it's a yellowy red. It's not quite orange. Yeah, I think that's a good brick color. All right, start putting down the water, the wash, water. And I just really was focusing on the fact that it's like, you know, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Like for example, with the greeting cards, like that kind of came out of nowhere. And, you know, that's fine, but like, I'm never going to reach the, you know, I'm never going to reach my goals if I'm constantly running off in 17 different directions, you know? Why is this paintbrush dirty? I thought I cleaned it. So I really want to focus on these houses until I finish the houses, you know? And then I'll move on to something else, which will probably be my comic. But it might be greeting cards. I don't know. Because I really enjoyed that. I have some really good ideas for other greeting cards that I would like to make. But I'm just trying to focus on one thing at a time. And my girlfriend and I went out yesterday. It was nice out. And we, what did we do? She went out with me while I took reference pictures for houses. I have a map of the city that I found online that I might share at some point, just of all the neighborhoods here in Pittsburgh. And if you don't know, there are about 90 neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. There's a lot. And they're all very diverse, like in terms of architecture, in terms of the people who live in them, in terms of socioeconomic status, in terms of just everything. So I am stuck primarily to the east end of Pittsburgh because that's where I spent most of my time, you know, that sort of thing. So what I did was I looked at the map, picked a neighborhood that I'd never been to before, went online and found a coffee shop in that neighborhood, and then we just plugged it into the GPS, went and got some coffee, and walked around outside. And it was great. I got a lot of really good pictures. And I don't think for this book I'm going to be able to go to every single neighborhood, but I would like to at least get, you know, an equal amount of pictures from the north, east, south, and west ends of, you know, Pittsburgh. It's kind of separated, not into quarters, but into ends is how it's called. So yeah, I've started looking into purchasing a custom email address, like contact@stetstudio.com, and making an email list. Because the program I want to use, which is MailerLite, oh, I got water on that window. I'll have to get a paper towel and wipe that off after we're done talking. Requires that you use not a personal email. So like I can't use stet.studio@gmail.com because it's a Gmail account, which I think is kind of stupid, but whatever. I'm sure they have their reasons. So yeah, and I updated my account's SEO, my website's SEO, and I've been doing some things like that just to try and make what I have be more successful before I start trying to do new things, I guess. Yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm excited to paint this house. I've started planning out my social media. You saw me making some reels and stuff. I'm getting better at it. I did get myself a TikTok finally because I really enjoy making reels, and I'm not sure what the future's going to hold in terms of all that, but for now I'm having fun with it, so we'll see. And yeah, that's what February looked like. I do want to start doing at the end of each month, like book recaps, like what I read, but I didn't really keep track that well of what I read this month, so we'll start that in March. Yeah, so it was really, really great having you here this month, and I hope you come back next month. And for any of the other videos I put out in between now and then, subscribe and like the video, or dislike it if you disliked it. I want to know. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below about literally anything I've talked about or anything you want to ask me about, all that good stuff. I love to chit chat. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. Bye!